Welcome to About the Winelands. In this show, we'll be chatting to leaders, influencers, wine producers, restaurants, wineries businesses, and other role players. Tune in every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday for our latest episodes. You will find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram TV, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to About the Winelands. Today I'm speaking to Zunia Boucher-Myers from Avontuur Restaurant in the beautiful town of just outside the beautiful town of Stellenbosch. Hi, Zunia. Welcome to About the Winelands.
Hi, Will. Thank you very much for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. I mean, you have such a lovely place there, and you must be glad that you can finally maybe start reopening again.
We are very relieved. We cannot wait. And we are actually opening on Wednesday of next week. So very excited for that. It's been a lovely break, but it's time to get back to work.
I can believe you. So, Zunia, I'm interested. Tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and how you became involved in the food restaurant business.
Okay, well, I'm trained as a fine artist, and I've always had three things that I've wanted to do. I've wanted to be a writer, an artist, and a chef. And I'm lucky that I have done all of those things in the work that I do, because I write, I do our own marketing, and I take the photos of our food and the beautiful farm on which we have our restaurant. And my business partner, Melanie, is a trained midwife. So she comes with the A-type personality, and I love to say I come with the ADD-type personality, and together we make a really great team.
Oh, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
it sounds like food and art always seems to go together somehow, right? And I mean, I've been at your restaurant. Your food is a bit of art. I love it.
Oh, thank you. We believe that you eat with your eyes.
That is true.
So so food must look beautiful, and it must taste as good as it looks.
So how did you guys become involved in the restaurant at Avontuur?
Well, I worked at Vale as the pastry chef, and Melanie, my business partner, was the executive chef there. And we were approached by the late Tony Tabor, who was the owner of the Avontuur Estate many years ago. And he wanted to have a fine dining style restaurant, and he approached Mel and she approached me, and together we went and had a look at it, and we just fell in love. What was there not to love? This beautiful wine estate, and it's also a stud farm, so all these beautiful mares with these beautiful white iceberg roses as you drive up the driveway. A visually very beautiful farm because it's on the foot of the Helderberg mountain. And so yeah, we've been very, very lucky to have a location where we have it. It's just magnificent. You've been there, so you know.
Well, it's I mean, you've got a right spot there on the R44. So, it's the farm the place advertises itself. We've got the perfect signboard because that road is quite busy. But
yes,
Avontuur itself, I mean, since I can remember, there's been a stud farm there.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit of the history of the farm. Do you know it?
Yes, I don't know all the history because it's a very old farm. I think it's the original documents go back to about 1880, somewhere around there. But the Tabors took the farm over in the early 1980s, and they were originally from Zimbabwe. And they saw the potential to have a wine estate as well as a stud farm, because Tony just loved the two together, the combination of horses and wine. Their blurb is fine horses and fine wines and fast horses. Sorry, I got that the wrong way around.
And fine horses and fast wine.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. And I love to say fabulous food. So all the alliterations happening there. But he just saw the potential of having a stud farm there. And today we have two of the most incredible stud horses in South Africa. We have VAR and we have Oratorio, and the two of them are sure, we have a lot of prizes and fantastic jockeys, and the two best studs in South Africa currently on the top 5 as far as I know. So wow. In that way, the GM, who's also a lady, Pippa Mickleborough is one of the most, I'll call her a horse whisperer, because she can look at the horses as she drives past, and she can just see what's going on with them. She is, I think books will be written about her one day, because she is the most incredible person who has put South African horses on the map in many, many ways. I better not speak too much about the horses, because I don't know. It's all my own emotions speaking here, and my knowledge about
No, it's here. Go on. It's interesting. I love
it. She's truly an amazing horse person. I don't really know very much about the horses. It's not where my passion lies. But having been there for nearly 20 years, you see the horses grow and how they go on to win races, and how it's just an amazing, the what do you call it, the history and the lines, like these horses sired these foals and these fillies, and this is what they've gone on to do. It's very, very interesting. And if you are a horsey person, what we do once a year is we allow you to come and meet the foals. We do what we call our mare and foal walk, and you can come and have a look at them. And Pippa or Philip Tabor or Michael Tabor, the two boys that now run the farm, might be one of your guides. So it just depends on which day you might get them. And it's fascinating to listen to what they have to say. So look out for that, because that's an amazing thing to be part of, because it's only once a year, and it's the amount of people we allow in is very small. So diarize that as soon as you see it.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I actually haven't heard about that before. So did you guys start that restaurant from scratch?
We did.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, we did. And the restaurant initially was run by two ladies that did a South African style buffet. And then what they did was they would cook the food at home and then bring it in the morning. And
Wow.
what Mr. Tabor wanted was the actual sit down, a la carte menu, a la carte restaurant. And so we started there with no kitchen, no restaurant as such, and we've built it up with one staff member in the kitchen, one waiter, to a group or a staff of roughly 21 in the summer. And we've been there for nearly 20 years now. So it works beautifully. It's a symbiotic relationship that we have with the estate. We've watched the two boys grow into the three boys. There's three of them grown into the men that they are today. And we have a really wonderful relationship with our landlords. We are very, very blessed, I have to say.
Well, it's
so
nice
Mr. Tabor wanted, so just a little recap, he approached Melanie, my partner, as I said, my business partner, and he said, come and have a look, see what you think. And she just fell in love with it and said, what do you think? I said, I'm in. And the rest, as they say, is history. So we started with one waiter, one member of staff in the kitchen, and just the two of us.
Okay.
So,
wow. So do both of you cook, or are you more on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you both design the menus and cook and everything together.
Absolutely. We are a real 50-50 team. We do everything together. We design the menu. We often fight about the menu because our tastes are very different. And so Mel doesn't like tomatoes, for example. I love tomatoes. And so we often say no, yes, and then we have to have other people taste the food and help us to decide what we'll put on the menu. But there's certain things that will never, ever come off our menu that are evergreen items. For example, our duck, we're known for our duck. We'll never ever take our duck off the menu. And our deep fried ice cream, I think that will be, we'll have riots if we ever had to take that off the menu.
So that's interesting, right? I've had a duck before, but I've never had a deep fried ice cream. So that's definitely a reason to go. But I've seen it, but I've never thought, just shows you.
It's absolutely delicious. It's ice cream that's wrapped in phyllo pastry and deep fried, and we serve it with the most delectable caramel sauce. And it's very, very, very good.
Sounds wonderful. So your food philosophy, Zunia, how would you describe that?
I would say that for me, what is the most important is that the food looks and tastes brilliant. And that our food is as healthy as we can make it. So we don't use things like MSG or aromat or any funny flavorings. Our food is real food. We make it fresh. We make it daily. So we don't like to use anything that comes out of a packet. And we just believe, our food philosophy is as healthy as we can make it is what we're going to do. And I think it shows in our portions and in the flavor that you get, that you can taste. This is really a great meal. You can taste the flavors. And we also don't like to fiddle too much with our food. So we don't like to have too much garnishing and too much detracting. We like the food to be the hero.
Oh, that's amazing.
And also we really like to use our local producers and our local farmers, and we try to use organic and free range and pasture reared as much as we possibly can. I think that's the way the world's moving, and it's very, very much part of Melanie and my philosophy, to try and implement and include as many of those kinds of foods as we possibly can.
Oh, that's very cool. Your customers, are they the demographic? Are they mostly tourists, locals? What do they look like?
No, we've never ever marketed our business to an overseas market, because our business is so seasonal. So it doesn't help you market to all your beautiful swallows, and then they leave you in winter, and then you're left with no business. So our demographic has always been our local business, and the pudding has been our swallows, our overseas visitors. So a lot of them are retired and really love to dine and wine and bring families along, and to just really enjoy a laid back, comfortable eating experience at a restaurant with a beautiful view. And I must say, we've had our staff for as long as we've been open, a lot of them. So our staff know our customers by name, and they just love that. They love coming in and they say, your regular or your usual, or your bottle of Sauvignon Blanc or your bottle of Chardonnay. And our guests just love that. They love being greeted by name.
Well, that's now you're mentioning the bottles, and that's awesome that they can do that, right? So, wine is important for a good dining experience. So,
absolutely.
How do you actually choose your wines? Do you only use Avontuur wines? And, how do you, okay. Tell us a little bit about the wines that you serve with the food.
Well, the whole idea of opening a restaurant was to showcase our wines, and we have a brilliant winemaker who's just won 4 new golds at, I can't tell you right now because it's actually a secret.
Oh, okay.
But he's just won 4.
You can tell us. I won't
prizes.
tell anybody. But unfortunately, I'm recording it. It's going to be on the internet. So.
No, that's all right. I'm only kidding. It's all good. It's all good. He's just won prizes for our beautiful wines, and that was what Tony wanted in the beginning, was to have a restaurant that could showcase his wines. So all our wines our food items are paired with our wines from the estate. We only sell our estate wines, and we work very closely with the winemaker and with our marketing lady who's not with us anymore, Kobie van Oort, and who will be sorely missed, I must say. But with the wines, we like to pair the food with the wines, because that's the whole idea. You want this whole experience. Your senses must be just, one beautiful experience after the next. And how much nicer can you get than a wine that marries well with your food?
No, absolutely. Like I said, that place, I've had a few of those wines as well. They're very, very good. So something else you guys are doing is called the Avontuur. I actually didn't know you guys have this, the Avontuur Business Club ABC, which looks like a breakfast club.
It is.
Yeah, tell us more about this.
Oh, this is one of my favorite parts of our business, and that is running the network breakfasts. And what we do is we get the best speakers we can find in South Africa, and even we've had international speakers too, that come and speak to our members about all the different themes that go to or go along with business. So it could be managing your time better, or your tax implications for small businesses, or you name the topic. We've had it in the last 15 years because we've been running the Breakfast Club for probably 16 or 17 years now. And we've had people like Mike Hancock, the top speaker in Australia. We've had Al Nabusak. We've had Margaret Hirsch. We've had some amazing people come through our doors. And what's lovely is that we don't charge a membership fee. We believe that the very people we want to benefit from our network breakfasts are the ones that quite often are self-employed, solo entrepreneurs, and membership fees are expensive. So all that they pay for is their breakfast, and we take care of the rest. And it's very popular.
So that's very interesting. Do you find that those people become long-term customers from the restaurant and also from, for your wines?
Sure, Vil, that's a really good question, because the answer to that is yes. You know, because we host these breakfasts every month. You can imagine over the last 17 years how many breakfasts we've hosted,
yeah, that's
and how many speakers we've had. They become friends, and they become long-term loyal customers of ours. You know, they come back in the summertime with families, or they host weddings or christenings or birthday parties, and that's how we've maintained our business. We've always believed in a reciprocal sort of ethos, really, you know, where what you give is what you get. Actually, our business name, our CC business name, is called the Open Hand, and
that's amazing.
that's yeah. So that's what we believe in. Yeah.
So that's a very interesting business philosophy, because, and I think it's it's one of those hidden secrets that I always call it pushing the free line. If you give people more than they expect, or give something for free, and like you say, you're giving, you don't charge for this networking for breakfast. It's actually a very, very good marketing ploy. Or not a ploy, it's just good marketing, because you actually can show your customers that you care about them. And
what we do,
people appreciate
is
that.
we give them, absolutely, and we give them one of our breakfasts, what we actually serve as a breakfast. We don't pare it down or make it smaller, or network breakfast food is horrific at the best of times. I've had some terrible meals, and our philosophy is completely different. We give the best that we can make. So and then people know that this is what they're going to get, and it's so divine. And I think a lot of people actually come back for the breakfast, not for the networking.
So is there wine at this breakfast? I just want to make sure there's wine at this breakfast.
There's always champagne.
Okay.
There's always champagne. I think one of the questions that you asked me is like, what is a wine saying for me? And that is that champagne goes with everything.
That is true. I mean, you can't say it better. So do you guys do any other events?
Oh, we do. We do themed events sometimes in summertime. Like we've hosted a most wonderful and fun Mamma Mia night, which was a dress up. I think we are starved for fun. And so we try and do a lot of fun events. We do women's events where we get women in to empower other women, and it works with the same sort of idea as the network breakfast, but specifically for women. And themes are inspire, empower, joy, those kind of ideas, where we get people from our communities to come and participate, influencers, people that have a lot to say and to give on many levels. And then we have obviously goodie bags and beautiful bake up and lots of wine flowing. It's a lot of fun. And of course we host events for everybody, from christenings right through to memorial services. We are part of people's history. And we are part of those sort of memories that people have, and we are very lucky to be part of those stories.
Well, that's awesome. So tell me, I'm just wondering. You mentioned not only events, but also, actually, I've now completely forgot what I wanted to ask you. All right,
I'm glad it's not just me.
It'll come back to me. Things have changed such a lot this year with the coronavirus, and everybody has been forced to change their business models. So, have you guys, well, or at least rethink it? Have you guys come up with any ideas or any new plans?
Well, we have to obviously rethink what we're doing because just from a practical perspective. And so when we open next week, we will be running with a smaller menu just to get started with, because we don't really know what to expect. Are we going to have 50 people? Are we going to have 20 people? Are we going to have no people? So it's very hard to know what to do. And so we're going to just open with as much faith as we can muster. And we're going to run with a smaller menu and a smaller staff, just like we did before we had the lockdown, where we had to go, smaller and move our tables and all of that. So it will be very much the same. But yeah, in many ways, this has been a great opportunity to look at what you're doing and see what you can do different. We've been on the hamster wheel for 19, nearly 20 years. And what can often happen is that you can kind of just get caught up with the momentum. And this lockdown has given us a chance to step off and to relook at what we're doing and what we want to do. And also, what do we really want to do differently? We've got 20 years experience to look back on. Maybe we can make some changes. So the first thing that we've done is we've actually painted the restaurant just to give it a fresh new feel. And we're going to change all the pictures, and we're going to just make it look clean and beautiful and lovely. And I think just from a sort of spiritual perspective, it changes things. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no,
it's
I understand exactly. It's like like I say, change is as good as holiday, and I think that's right. I think in this scenario where people would like just to see. I think there's something to say to go back to things that that you are used to, but also to have places change and looking progressive. I think that is great.
Yeah. Well, we have to change, menus and things like that. So we just decided that we would go with this really clean, beautiful look. I'm a photographer as well, so I've got 20 years worth of beautiful photos of this estate, which I have to say is truly, a photographer's paradise, because every day is different and every season is just better than the last. So we're going to, just give a new feel to an old favorite.
So did the lockdown give you some time to sort your photos that you never got time for?
The 50,000 photos, hell.
Oh my word.
Yeah, there's a lot of photos. Well, we've done some lovely new things. We've done some wallpapers with, when you do big take a picture and you make it as big as the wall.
Yeah.
So we've done that. That's really beautiful. But
wow.
Yeah, we're going to go with we've got a few photos to look through and make some decisions. Yeah.
So actually, just remembered what I wanted to ask you. You mentioned influencers, and I was wondering, you said you do the marketing for the restaurant and stuff like that. Do you and this I think falls in with what's happening, right? Everybody now are even more on their phones and on online than they've ever been before. So do you guys use things like social media and influence and marketing and stuff like that in your business?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are on every platform that there is, from Instagram to Pinterest. We have a very big following on Instagram as well as on our Facebook page, and a very what is the word I'm looking for? When you have a lot of back and forth. I can't think of the word.
Engagement.
Anyway, engagement, thank you. I couldn't think of the word. So there's a lot of engagement, and I always say in my kitchen, I'm the only one who's allowed to be on my phone, because I'm the one who's actually speaking to our customers out there in the big world. And yeah, we are very, 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 well, let's put it this way. I love social media. I think it's one of the funnest most quickest way to engage with your clientele.
Well, I think the magic word there is engagement, because most people think social media is you post something and you forget about it, but actually it's not. It's talking to people, answering their comments, and actually speaking to them. And it's like the fastest way, like you say, to actually talk to people. You can start today and talk to 100 people if you really want to.
Absolutely.
You just need to
Well, I
make the
have to
effort.
say, in all our years of having our restaurant, we've never paid for marketing. We've never gone with a big marketing campaign or, spent 20,000 Rand on marketing. We've never done that. We've always used what's called guerrilla marketing. I don't know if you know the term.
Yeah.
But I am like the ultimate guerrilla marketer.
So every time if you say the word guerrilla marketing, I think about, the guys do it at the rugby stadiums. You're sitting there, next minute there's people jumping up in yellow T-shirts that were supposedly come to watch the rugby, but meanwhile they bought the tickets was paid for by some marketer that wanted to advertise a new cell phone or orange juice or whatever.
Well, I don't know if that's guerrilla marketing as much as harassment.
That's true, right? That's more like
yeah.
Jumping onto somebody else's bandwagons, a type of marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think I think for me, guerrilla marketing is just about being consistent and showing up all the time. And
well, like you said, engagement with your customers, right?
Yeah.
Actually talking to them, asking them what they want, and then giving that to them in their products. I think that is the most important thing.
Absolutely. And it's such fun, if you post something. Say I posted a picture of a chocolate mousse last week, and the comments, the people just love it. People love food pictures. It always amazes me. They love to look at them as much as they love to eat them.
Instagram is just a wonderful place for food, right? And I think you as a photographer, obviously, it speaks to you as well, and you appreciate the platform for the visual.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely
some very talented people.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Anyway, so the most important thing that you've learned from your journey there at the restaurant and in the winelands.
Ooh, that's a big question. I think consistency. I think if I've learned anything about being an adult and working, at a job that's fairly stressful and demanding, but also incredibly fulfilling, is consistency. In order to maintain your level of customers and to make people happy, you have to produce the same standards every single time. And I think that can get a bit tricky, because some days are good days and some days are bad days. But for the most part, you've got to get it right 99% of the time. So for me, it's been about consistency, passion and consistency. Yeah.
And that's awesome. So you cheated by giving me your champagne quote right in the beginning. But that's great. So tell us, if people want to get hold of you guys, how did they get hold of you?
Well, obviously we're on social media. We're on Facebook. We have our own page, the Avontuur Estate Restaurant. On Instagram, also Avontuur Estate Restaurant. They're all the same, and Twitter, as well as Pinterest. But right now our phone lines are down, so I'm going to give you an alternative number if anybody wants to phone and reserve for next Wednesday. Can I give it to you?
Yes, please do.
The number is 083 508 1525, or you can email us at openhand@polka.co.za.
I love that open hand one. So we'll put all the links down in the description so people can get that, and I'll make sure the phone number are in there as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, Zunia, are you doing anything special now that you're opening that you want to tell listeners about, or what?
I think the fact that we're opening is special.
That's
we're
true,
just so
right?
happy to be opening, So we're not doing any specials as such. We'll just be running with our menu just slightly smaller. And we cannot wait to see our friends and our loyal customers again, because we've missed them a lot.
Okay, I'm sure they're going to flood you because I think people want to get out and people want to go to places. So as long as you haven't taken the duck off the menu, I think everything will be fine.
Our takeaway menu as well, and it's the most popular, and it's a winner. You can't say it's delicious.
Yeah, no, I can vouch for that. Zunia, thank you very, very much for spending the time with us. And yeah, I mean, we will put, like I said, we'll put all the links down in the description, and we appreciate, I know you're busy, so thank you for spending the time. Yeah.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you so, so much for having me. I've enjoyed our chat.
Thank you for supporting our show. If you would like to get more exposure for your business, please have a look at our sponsorship options. Thanks again for supporting About the Winelands. Please follow us on YouTube and on our social media channels. All details and links are in the description.